Hi there, and welcome to the Butler Collegian newscast. I'm Zach Horrall, filling in for Kristin Camiliere.
And I'm Jake Bedell, filling in for Nikki Clark.
Kristin is out on Pothole Patrol tonight and will be giving us updates throughout the newscast about road conditions around campus. First, we begin with some breaking news. The on-campus restaurant Metro Diner is now closed. Employees received the news at an evening meeting on Sunday, and the Metro Diner sign was removed from the restaurant later that evening. Director of Marketing at Metro Diner sent a statement to the Collegian saying, quote, "This is strictly a business decision and is not a reflection of our team's dedication to serving the Butler community. We understand that closing our location on Butler's campus will affect the lives of our team members, and we are helping them with this transition, including severance packages for those who are not transferring to one of our other locations nearby." End quote. Butler said that they received no advance warning about the abrupt closing, and it left many students and now former employees confused.
As the managers were all just kind of standing up at the front, just like, because they didn't know either. So it's not like they've been hiding this from us. They really didn't know either. It was a total shock to all of us.
And no warning signs, nothing that anything like this was coming.
No, it was kind of weird vibes in the air yesterday. Towards the end of the shift, I could tell that something was wrong because we were told, oh, no need to restock anything, no need to, set out breakfast menus, and we were just like, oh, this is weird. But we didn't really think anything of it.
Scotty's Doghouse is the only restaurant that remains on campus and the only occupant in the parking garage complex. Metro Diner was on campus a little over 2 years.
In more breaking news, Butler is responding to hate speech found in Atherton Union over the weekend. Administrators and SGA were quick to respond after the words "white power" were written on a dry erase board. SGA and Vice President of Student Affairs both sent an email out to students regarding the incident. Butler is continuing to investigate.
And this incident comes just a week after President Danko released a statement regarding an Indiana Senate bill on hate crimes. The statement expressed that the university finds the recently passed bill to be, quote, unjust and therefore unacceptable, end quote. The bill originally included protections for crime victims who were targeted for their race, religion, sexual orientation, or other traits. The Senate modified the bill to remove those categories and instead stated that the courts can consider general bias when implementing a criminal sentence. President Danko said they should care and engage, perhaps not on this bill specifically, but when something contradicts Butler University's values.
Well, we're going to check in with Kristin Camiliere on the Pothole Patrol tonight and see how she's doing. Kristin, how's it going out there?
Hi everyone, Kristin Camiliere from the Butler Collegian, and I am on Pothole Patrol tonight, going to be taking you around some of the roughest patches of road leading to and from campus. We are about to turn onto Westfield heading northbound, and as you can see, potholes absolutely just tearing up this strip of road, making traveling conditions less than ideal.
Thank you, Kristin. We will continue to check back in.
Purdue University is now blocking streaming and gaming services like Netflix and Hulu from all academic classrooms after spring break to cut costs and decrease internet traffic. Butler's IT department says they have no plans of blocking these services on our campus, and students have nothing to worry about. In an Indy Star article, Purdue's Deputy Chief Information Officer explained that Purdue was struggling with the price of its broadband service. Purdue ran a trial period in the fall where these services were blocked from the largest lecture halls on campus, and the administration did not receive a significant amount of complaints.
An email sent out to current juniors on February 22nd explaining new updates about on-campus housing has sparked concern. The issue arises with rising seniors who plan to live in apartments on campus. The email stated, quote, "There will be a limited number of units for students that have senior status and above. These will be considered on a first-come, first-served basis after rising junior students have selected housing for the 2019-2020 school year," end quote. Interim Director of Student Living and Learning, Kathleen Schellog, said Residence Life staff didn't think that current juniors needed an email to clarify that the class below them gets preference in choosing housing, saying, quote, "We thought, oh, they'll know." Well, they probably didn't, and that's where the miss came in, end quote. Will Locke is a junior currently living in AV and was planning on their next year with 3 of his roommates as seniors. Locke said, quote, "They let us know so late. Why are you letting us know this now? Why not during the first semester?" End quote. Schellog predicts that only 130 to 140 rising seniors will want to live on campus next year. She anticipates that all the students who apply will be able to live in AV for their senior year. Let's head back out to Kristin Camiliere, who's checking out the pothole situation around campus. Kristin, how are you doing out there?
Now we are heading northwest onto Clarendon. You can see those bumps right there. Still pretty bad here as well. I think that this is some of the roughest patches of road that we have up here. Definitely pretty bumpy. There's a pretty big bumpy patch. There's another one as we continue driving up. Now this road is right off of when you come off of 38th Street and you're heading onto Clarendon, heading towards campus. I'm sure you're able to hear that from inside the studio. It's so loud.
Thank you, Kristin. We will check back with you in a little bit. And now Jack Jankowski is here with a look at sports.
Thanks, Jake. From the hardwood of Hinkle to the turf field by Ilott, there was a lot of action coming from our Bulldogs this week. Let's get you caught up with all things Butler sports, starting with men's basketball. Laval Jordan and company flew to Philly to battle the Nova Wildcats this past Saturday and exited the city of brotherly love with a bitter defeat. The Dogs fell 75-54 to the rival Cats. Paul Jorgensen led Butler with 11 points. The New York native scored his 1,000th career point in the contest. Congratulations to him. Speaking of Jorgensen, he and Nate Fowler were honored on Tuesday on senior night. Butler battled rival Xavier and emerged victorious over the Musketeers by a final score of 71-66. Kamar Baldwin led all scorers with 24 points on 10 for 17 shooting. The team stands at 16-14 overall and have fallen completely out of ESPN's bracketology predictions. It will take a strong Big East tournament showing for the Dogs to dance for a 5th straight year. Going to women's basketball, the women's team played 2 games at Hinkle this weekend, falling to the Georgetown Hoyas on Friday before knocking off Villanova on Sunday. The Nova game was senior day for a class of incredible athletes, as seniors Whitney Jennings, Taylor Buford, Michelle Weaver, and Tori Schickel were honored. The Lady Dogs are the number 3 seed in the Big East tournament and will battle number 6 Creighton on Sunday. Heading over to the Diamond, baseball played 5 games this week. The first was a loss to Indiana 9-3, while the ensuing 4 contests were all part of the Russmat Central Florida Invitational. All told, the guys went 4-1 in the tournament, highlighted by a 21-7 win over St. Peter's. You heard me right, that wasn't a football score, that was our boys manhandling a baseball team by 14 runs. Leading the barrage was right fielder Harrison Freed, who was 4 for 5 with 7 RBIs in the onslaught. Making the long walk over to the turf field we go as we check in on women's lacrosse. The girls earned an impressive 10-8 win over St. Bonaventure on Friday. Sophomore Karina Latsko decided a hat trick wasn't enough, notching 4 goals on the afternoon. Lacrosse sits at 2-3 on the young season. And we end tonight's segment with a trip to the tennis bubble. The men's team had one matchup this past weekend, battling Cardinal Stritch and emerging victorious 7-0. For the women's, a bit more activity, as they held 4 battles in 3 days, with the results split at 2 wins, 2 losses. Well, that's all for sports this week. Guys?
Jack, thanks so much, and we're going to get one last road condition update from Kristin Camiliere, who has been monitoring the pothole situation around campus. Kristin, how's your car holding up?
Well, I'm happy to report that we have not lost a tire yet. We are heading eastbound onto 42nd Street, passing CTS, and we are coming up to, yet again, another rough patch of road that many students hit, while traveling to and from campus. Ouch.
Thank you, Kristin. Well, guys, we're almost on spring break. This is our last little bit of newscast until spring break, and when the guys took over the newscast, I think it went pretty well. What do you guys think?
I thought we filled in the chairs pretty nicely.
Yeah?
I thought we did all right.
I mean, who can do it better than Zach, Jake, and Jack? Well, that's all we have for this week's episode of the Butler Collegian Newscast. To stay up to date with all things news on Butler's campus, visit us at thebutlercollegian.com or on Twitter at Butler Collegian. I'm Zach Horrall.
I'm Jake Bedell.
And I'm Jack Jankowski.
Have a great spring break, dogs.